Good morning. Good morning.
And finally, new rule, nothing with crypto in the title ever turns out good.
Don't write me about Bitcoin, please. I don't give a so don't ask me.
Bitcoin happens to use a lot of energy. It happens to promote anonymous transactions.
Bitcoin is not a currency.
Not bullish on Bitcoin.
You, John McAfee, believe in the power of Bitcoin. So much so that you'll put your on the table, chop it up, put it in your mouth, swallow.
If it doesn't reach at least $1 million.
99.999% of the people that own Bitcoin are f***ing morons. That's just it.
What's it feel like to be a Bitcoin?
I don't have any Bitcoin.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome
Good morning.
to the GM show for Thursday, March 3rd already, and it's another glorious morning in crypto land in Morningville, and all the citizens of Morningville are getting up and being merry, singing songs.
Citizens. Is that what morning? I don't know if I want to live in Morningville anymore.
Oh,
you lost me at singing.
Oh,
you lost me at singing.
You want to live in Morningville? Because in Morningville, Bitcoin is 143,000 in Morningville, but here, unfortunately, in reality, it's only 43,000. But we're holding strong. I don't know if you can see those little lines. That's like, hey, we're doing a whole lot of nothing. So, but the markets are overall looking pretty good. But we'll get to the charts. Get to the charts. We'll talk about what's coming here soon. But we're gonna cover some of the headlines first because that's what we do on this show. We talk about crypto headlines.
Get to the news. What's new?
Get to the news. Well, I'm just not going to say what I was going to say about the news, but because Matt already spanked me on that one this morning, I was like, "They're not news," and Matt's like, "There's lots of news," and so I got spanked. But Ukraine, there's of course Ukraine news. Ukraine has now received over 50 million in crypto donations so far. I think a day or two ago we were talking about the total being 20 million. So the donations keep rolling on in almost 90,000 different donors, something like that. 90,000 donations. Donors. That's the word. I
don't think so. I don't know if that's.
I've only had 2 cups of coffee.
Donors. Yeah, yes, it is. Dude, I'm on my second latte.
8th latte.
I'm ready to go. I'm juicy.
4th double shot. But
juicy.
The Ukrainian government was advertising an airdrop of some tokens. I didn't follow this too closely, the airdrop. I just had kind of heard about it, and I was like, okay, whatever. That's weird, but I guess they were going to give donors an airdrop of some sort, and they have now called that off. It is kind of funny. We were talking about how they had raised about $33 million before, and then they announced the airdrop, and they raised like $77 million more just after the airdrop announcement. So a lot of people were just stoked, I'm sure, to get an airdrop. But Ukraine, it's probably got a little complicated when it's like, oh, are we going to make our own Ukrainian token?
Rug pulled.
Yep. Sure, the IMF wouldn't like that. Probably would not be super stoked about that. So instead, they're going to make NFTs now. Ukraine has dropped the airdrop idea, and they said they're going to make NFT tokens instead. So I don't know what that means and what the NFTs will be. And I'm not really sure why they are even changing up the method. So far, just taking pure donations seems to be working quite well. But I guess just pile on more methods of raising money.
Well, yeah, and also, yeah,
Are we
'cause
gonna have
and you're
war
giving,
NFTs now? Are these like war collectibles? Is that what these are?
donors. Yeah, dude, isn't it weird?
Yeah, like
It's almost like it reminds me of like the
gave
old
Matt a
like
nice
bond, like
pause.
war bond.
Yeah, it's like a
They're like,
modern day
instead of like a
version.
bond that you buy for like a war, you're gonna buy an NFT, and so then the value you have is just the NFT, and the value of NFT is just whatever the community thinks it is.
Like
It's
what
so much.
will the value of the NFT
Well,
be
I mean,
dependent
it's
on the outcome of the war? I mean, do you buy NFTs for whichever side of the fight you're trying to get in on? It's like betting. I don't know. It's certainly a weird world we live in. That is for sure. When the crypto world starts becoming, it starts going IRL. Things get a little weird.
I'm sure. IRL, yeah, dude. I think it's funny because the whole concept. I bet you, we were kind of talking about how it's just probably people that have no idea. You know, I just imagine someone just saying, "Hey, we're getting a bunch of people asking about like an airdrop. Like, are we gonna airdrop some tokens to donors?
Like, sure.
More people might donate." And it's like, yeah, sure, do it. Let's just give them some tokens. And then they probably, after they did that, they're like, wait a second, like we're like a government, like we can't. It's kind of a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's not just a private. And so I'm sure they're kind of
at least you gotta walk it back, maybe dip your toes in a little not as quickly, and probably the NFTs is a safer route because those are non-fungible, and probably creating a new fungible token like a country doing that is probably just that's messing with potential.
Well, they could have maybe even just airdropped. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. You know, they could have airdropped a token. Maybe it was Ethereum or whatever network that people donated on. I don't know. It's just kind of like,
I don't. That's why I don't know. I didn't like
the
tune
whole
into
thing
the
is-
airdrop thing yesterday or whatever when it was when this was like just hitting.
I
So I don't know what their original offer was, but
I
it
just
is
saw
funny
the-
here. They're saying in this
someone-
tweet, we do not have any plans to issue any fungible tokens.
Yeah, because they know that gets them in
Make that
trouble.
clear. Yeah,
right?
just want to make that clear.
But I think like the you know, it was just funny because I've seen people posting the graphs of like, you know, inflow to the wallets, and it was just like, you know, just regular up and down, and then all of a sudden they're like airdrops and just skyrocketed up.
So funny.
It was just funny, you know. And then it was just like people who are donating to help Ukraine, and then people who are donating to Ukraine to make an extra buck. You know, the crypto.
And well, that is the crypto. That's a lot of the crypto community are all flipping and trying to just make a buck. Yep, trading. Trading up.
It's just trying to, you know, it's just going to one Ponzi scheme to the other. You know, that's all. That's what it's all about.
This show, by the way, everyone, is a comedic entertainment show. So nothing in this show is real or financial,
it's not financial advice.
It's kind of like a reality show.
Do you take financial advice from a guy with a mustache?
From
Probably
clowns.
not.
We should wear clown masks.
Should.
Just wear clown masks the whole time. No one will believe us. So yes, but in good in positive crypto news here, I guess all the news has been positive today. I'm just used to saying that, like trying to change directions from war to other stuff. Bitcoin addresses are going parabolic despite geopolitical tensions. I think this headline is silly because it's like, why wouldn't Bitcoin addresses be increasing because of geopolitical tensions? But the number of addresses, Bitcoin wallet addresses, is cruising to an all-time high. And that's a new all-time high off just one that was set in like January. So we are just, we're getting more and more wallets, more and more people, more and more holders involved, which just, means less volatility, hopefully, over the long term, and more stability in our nice little space. So I think this is a good thing. We got 570,000 wallets. Is that what that's saying?
Yeah, dude. And I was I was reading how also just like Ethereum, like over 70% of people who hold wallets holding Ethereum hold less than 0.01, like 30
Wow.
bucks worth of Ethereum.
Wow.
70% of the wallets. So
Wow.
there's a lot of wallets just like, and I'm like, actually, I actually have like 3 wallets I know of that just has like a tiny little chunk in there. I
That's
mean,
true. Like,
several,
how many
think about how
MetaMask
many,
wallets do some people have? I have
right? How
6.
many like, well, and then just like, going from different exchanges and just leave,
Mhm.
how there's like a tiny bit still left in your wallet and you're just like, well, whatever, it's like, I wonder how many of those are, it's just crazy,
Yeah, how many wallets are also just owned by, how many like one person who has multiple wallets? I mean, with Bitcoin, that's probably a little less common than like Ethereum wallets, right? Because I think Ethereum wallets, people are just generating a lot more of them. I don't know. There's just more activity overall and a lot of
Yeah, I mean,
in
yeah,
the
you're
space, I
buying,
think.
your people are like, I know people that aren't in crypto necessarily, but they're in NFTs, right? They're
You're
like
right.
collect
Yeah.
some
Yeah, and the
NFTs and
Bitcoin
they're
hodlers
selling.
are kind of a different category even than maybe the
Yeah,
NFT, traders too. So, and those are 2 different blockchains. So, yeah,
it's
but I think
definitely, yeah,
increase in adoption is what we like to see. Um, this article here is talking about why NFT profile pictures matter to investors and regulators. I will save you all the long story on this and just tell you this is something Matt and I have been talking about a lot in the past year and thinking about a lot. And I think anyone who's making
hmm
NFT projects needs to be thinking about the regulations and the potential regulations that could be coming down the pipe for assets like NFTs and being careful so that they set up their projects in a way that won't get potentially like taken down or investigated in the future by financial authorities. So down here it's talking about here using NFTs as membership tokens, but when profits also enter the equation, regulators and lawyers have questions. And so it's one
yeah,
thing to have it as a gate for your membership community or whatever. It's a whole nother thing
hmm
when you start to do any kind of profit or revenue sharing or money,
right.
anything where
Because
the
then
holders
it's
are making money.
right. Well, and then because that means that the members, right, the holders, if they have like if it's DAO to like let's say you're going to have people being able to make decisions on the organization, and at the same time, if they're making any money from being a member of that DAO or organization, then that's essentially like a share of a company of an organization, right? So that's why it falls like specifically into like a securities
Hmm.
kind of SEC wheelhouse, and that's why OpenSea is like basically just trying to shut down every single NFT project that's like calls himself a DAO
Yeah, they've been
because
on
they
a
don't want
tear
to.
recently,
Yeah, they
just
don't want to
shutting down
have
those projects.
any say in yeah regulating that because they'll be the ones that are going to be paying the price for allowing that kind of type of stuff. So um yeah, it's a tricky situation. I know like last year was like the big like learning curve for that one. I feel like when
Yeah.
so many NFT projects were starting to really write
What was
their
that?
own
Well, there was
their
like
own
I'm trying to
tokens.
remember
There
where
was
which one it was that first got delisted off
I
OpenSea.
remember Turtle DAO was like one that
That was one of
was
them. Yeah,
with
that
the
was
little
definitely one.
pixelated turtles and
Mhm.
um yeah, and so there's yeah, once you start calling yourself a DAO or you have like some sort of profit revenue
Yeah.
sharing, um
And
it
I think you
gets
could
it's tricky.
probably call yourself a DAO
I
as
know
long as you weren't doing any kind of profit sharing or anything
it's
like that, and it's
people,
just
and
voting. If it's
I
just
also
voting,
think that part
probably
of
not
it
gonna
is
get voted.
like if you're gonna actually just do right, if you're just voting, you don't have any like profit
Just
share stuff, you should be
community
fine.
management, yeah.
It's and I think you could probably if you did it on your own, like you had your own site where people could buy and sell the NFTs, the DAO, like everything was under your own wheelhouse, you could probably do it and be just fine. And even then, you have to say, like, okay, if the SEC comes for us and wants to regulate us, okay, you have to just accept that that's a reality of the situation, and I think that people in the crypto space needs to be a little bit less afraid of being regulated or following regulations by the SEC, because it's not like, I don't know. I looked them up and I was like, dude, being from the cannabis industry, this is nothing. Okay, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're gonna, like, the regulation in the cannabis industry is like crazy more strict, and people
Yeah.
do it. People survive and thrive, and
Yeah. Well,
it's
and
just like,
it'll be
like,
interesting to
they
see
have to
how the
understand.
rules evolve to
I just think it just
encompass
needs to be
cryptocurrency, because
a
everything's
bit
old.
more.
This
Well, yeah,
like
it would
here,
be great.
SEC guidance wasn't designed with NFTs in
Right.
mind is one of the quotes here, and it's like,
If
yeah,
we can get like some like clear rules on how this stuff works, then it'll be a lot easier in the future. But it's I just think it's kind of, if you're creating a DAO, if you're creating revenue sharing, you have to understand that you might have to follow SEC regulations and in the future, and just accept that. If you don't want that at all, then don't start a DAO with a revenue sharing. That's kind of simple as that.
made me think about this tweet you sent me yesterday. You shared with me this little meme, and it was like,
Yeah.
yes, hello, IRS. So client made a charitable donation of 0.69 ETH or something to the Ukrainian military, later received an airdrop of free money from the Ukrainian government. Client then used the airdrop UKR to purchase multiple Pixelmon species Kevin derivatives, but devs rugged and left client, and I quote, in it for the art. Can client deduct gas fees for minting of Kevin despite rug pull? Hello? So
Yeah.
you can see, the current regulatory framework for all the financial, the taxes, the SEC, it's an old framework that just was not meant for this weird new digital world where things are happening so fast, and there's millions of these transactions going on, and it's a kind of a logistical nightmare to try to track and like collate all this data. And so, crypto tax software is just going to be a huge space. Crypto tax products are going to be probably a
Yeah.
huge space.
Well, it's just when you're filing taxes, they have the question in there, like, did you
Yeah.
buy any crypto? And then you go down the rabbit hole of answering all the questions.
Yeah, and it's like, well, yeah, I bought it, but and then I sold it, and then I lost a bunch of it, and then I bought some here, and I made profit over here, and then
Yeah,
I
I
bought
mean,
these
I'll
NFTs, and then I
probably
put it into a farm, and then I
see, that's the thing, is like a lot of the NFTs that I bought didn't go up in value, and I haven't sold a
Yeah,
lot
they're-
of them. And so it's just, yeah, it's like it's just like, as a property, I haven't, or maybe I could write some of the losses that, I bought it and
Write
then
off.
sold it for a loss. Gas fees you should be able to write off, I think, for sure.
gas fees.
Gas
Yeah,
fees.
you would think.
Some of the NFTs, dude, the gas fees were more than the freaking NFT. So yeah.
Yeah.
Should
Well,
write
and
that shit.
then as long as you don't
Try.
cash out, right? Then it's unrealized gains, right? So
Right. Yeah. And so
so
like,
just
and I only
never get rid of, just never cash out your cryptos
just
is
keep
my
buying and
non-financial
hodling.
advice. My
Yeah.
non-financial advice is never cash out of crypto, only pay with things in crypto, only barter with other people who have crypto, only live in the crypto world. Do not use any fiat currency. This is not financial advice. Let's go to the charts.
Go to the charts. Oh, hey, I need to share my screen.
Charts up. I wish I had a nice little intermission video, but I don't, because
You
it's
need
just not
to.
like that. I do need to. Okay, here we go. Nice. That was quick. You're on it.
Uh-huh. All
Let's
right.
check the
So
charts.
a couple of things I want to point out here. All right. So yesterday, well, no, let's don't talk about yesterday. We're not going to talk about yesterday. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go further back. We're going to go back all the way down to this low in February. Okay. And we're going to do a trend line. Let's make a nice, happy little friendly trend line. This is the happy little friendly trend line, following the trend. We don't like to go away from the trend. We like to stay with the trend. We follow the trend. Okay, so if you check this out, I mean, we're myself and a lot of the traders I see on Twitter, a lot of us are expecting it to come down. I mean, if you see here on the 4 hour, I do believe yesterday we were like, oh, it could be crossing here soon. The 50 EMA could be crossing 200, and it did. All right. And it's just kind of stalling here. Now, if you look at this kind of pattern, if you notice, it just likes to stall. And then sometimes, instead of, it did kind of a little drop down here. Maybe we'll get that over here. But I mean, a lot of us traders, we're expecting it to come down to around 40K and then bounce. All right. That's what we're expecting. We have on the momentum here, the kimono indicator. We got an overbought signal yesterday, 1 in the morning, and it's just been a solid red wave down. Now, I did not short, and a lot of times I do short on like these kind of, oh yeah, it's hitting some resistance and stuff like that. I did short a couple of altcoins, but I didn't short Bitcoin in particular. But that's because, on the daily, we have a green momentum wave coming up. Okay. Money flows coming up. I think that, we could see a pullback, right? And it would make sense if the pullback was to 40K and then we would kind of go back up. Something like this. So and I didn't get into it because I kind of saw the pattern on the last what was I? The 4 hour was I just on? I kept seeing these patterns on a lot of the time frames, basically of it just stalling out, and instead of it just dropping right back down to the trend line and then bouncing back up, it's just stalling and then waiting for the trend line to come to it essentially, and then moving upward. So something similar here, I was anticipating. Now today, I could be wrong. Today could be the day that's like, all right, let's take this price back down to 40K and pop it back up. You do have some, things to consider here. We have some resistance here at 42,500. We got another level here around the 50 and 200 EMAs, but those are around 41 to 40K. So, yeah, so it just makes sense, right? A lot of confluence happening right around here. A lot of things coming together for a nice bounce up. So that's what I'm looking at.
I'd say mid to long term, it's looking like we're in a nice upward pattern there on that 4 hour. We got that 50 crossing the 200.
Yeah,
just waiting for that pullback.
What we want to see, so here is kind of the perfect example of like this is what got everyone thinking, dang, we are really in a quote unquote bear market. I don't like to use the terms bear or bull market, but it does just make it easier on saying downtrend, uptrend kind of type deal. I just so with this guy up here, right? We broke the 50 and 200 EMA. This was just back in beginning of February, right? And everyone was like, sweet, it's going to bounce off of this key of what was resistance. Now it's going to bounce off of support, and it's just going to keep going. And it didn't make a higher high. In fact, it then went down and made the price. And then this is all kind of the war mess. I kind of messed a lot of things up and destroyed some of my positions, but I'm okay. I'm gonna just ignore that. This didn't happen. Didn't happen. All right.
I see my MIB memory eraser didn't work quite that well on you.
Yeah, this whole trading during the whole invasion thing really kind of sucked. But you know what? Here we are now. All right, and we're definitely, we got higher highs from the last high, but we're kind of retracing to see if we can get a higher high than this guy. Okay, so we're doing a little retrace obviously here. How long will the retrace last? I'm still thinking it should come down to 40K, but it doesn't have to. It really doesn't have to. It could be showing some. If you're seeing here, I think this is the oh geez, what do I have out there? Is it the 1315 EMA or something? This red one. It's really kind of using this as essentially, I'd like to call it some support here. So if we start seeing it really kind of separating itself from these two EMAs and those EMAs, these lower EMAs cross, then yeah, okay. Then I'd say, yeah, we're in for sure for the 40K. But this could just be forming a little wedge and then popping up here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
As far as let's check out liquidation. Yes. On high block, obviously a big old chunk. Oh, whoa. What just happened? Let me run it again. I clicked something. I think I accidentally zoomed in. I broke it.
Well, while Matt is fixing his life,
it's fixed.
Press like
it's already
and subscribe.
Fixed. Yes, like and subscribe. So all right, we got about over 5 billion in long liquidations. Okay, there's a lot more long liquidations, obviously. Now, if we got down to 40K, that would take out this nice group. See, that's why I'm like, I don't know if they will. I don't know if the market makers will come down and fish these guys. Maybe it will, right? There are traders out there to say, "Yo, we still need to come down to 38K and get these." But I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get that. I mean, because if they got 40K, I mean that's a huge chunk, right? Because most of the liquidations actually look like they could be right up here. So they could take a big chunk of that 5 billion right up here, at the same time build up these short liquidations like crazy, as everyone thinks, okay, yep, it's going to 38K, but then they just bring it back up and get these liquidations. So I'm not. So I mean, like gosh, yeah. Look at this giant just range. As far as liquidations go, I would say, hey, the price is coming down. Let's see if it hits 42K would be kind of like my first little, kind of. Actually, that's what I was saying on the chart. That makes total sense, doesn't it? So if we go back to the chart, yeah, I mean, you go down to 42K, which we could easily be tapping into. We're hitting some key levels of resistance from over here. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. Let's check out something else. Let's check out what? ETH. Oh, yes. You know what? I want to show you your favorite token.
Cardano?
Yes. How did you know?
I saw that all the Cardano experts are saying it'll be easily $100 by the end of the year.
Oh, easily, because it could totally break this $100 or $1 resistance. It's like, dude, just kidding. I remember long ago when we were talking about Cardano, I was like, yeah, it's good. I mean, as long as it keeps the $1 support, and then if it breaks $1 support, just if you start seeing it, treating it as resistance, that's gonna be a real bad sign. And here we are. It's treating it like a solid.
It sure
resistance.
is. Yeah.
So
it's gonna take a little work to get up there. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it is going to need some.
I saw some good Cardano news today, but I didn't put it on because I knew I'd get hate for it.
There's always Cardano. There's always good Cardano news. It's just, I mean, it's a great project. It's just it doesn't. I don't like trading.
It just flops around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't move, which is can't be good depending on what you're trying.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance it'll pop back up to, what was it at? Like, what was the high? $3?
Like two. It was, I think, 2 something. So it went a little higher than that. But yeah, it's.
Let me just get my daily. This is ridiculous.
It popped up there when everything was popping off.
Yeah, $3.
Oh wow! It got all the way up to 3. Wow.
So I mean, this is Bybit, so I'm sure it's on other exchanges quite a bit longer. But this is.
Man, it's in a major downtrend on the daily there. That 50 is just diving. Dive. Yeah, that's on a major downtrend. I mean, Everything was, so
I mean, and
not
if you think about it,
surprised, but yeah.
Cardano's a lot older in the space,
Mhm.
right? Um, than all of these cooler
It
new
ain't the new
tokens. Like,
hot freshness
dude,
is what you're
like
saying.
you want to see a cool one? You want to see a cool one that I like? I've been loving Luna lately. That's for sure. Luna,
Yeah.
look at this, man.
Jeez.
Like, look, this day and night from like
Now
people
what's
are like,
going on
screw
over at
Cardano.
Luna?
Let's
I
check
wonder
out
what's
this
going
Luna.
on over at
Luna's hot.
Luna. What's Terra up to these days? I wonder.
Well, they raised a bunch of money, you know, and they've got a lot of. I think they're building up their because it's right. They got the NFTs going on different exchanges and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about Terra. I should know more.
Yeah, so, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is insane. It has its seen this kind of pump before, but if you see, it's forming a lot of these giant vector candles, giant big gaps, which means that when the price comes down to these levels, it's just gonna fall. It's just gonna right through those.
Yeah.
Because you're leaving a lot of. These are a lot of shorts, actually. There's a bunch of shorts on these ones. I wish I could. Maybe I have high block on Luna. I doubt it. I
mean,
it.
it's got to be near an all-time high right now. As far as I think it's, let's see, its all-time high was
It's close.
around
It's not there yet.
90,
It's close.
like $99. I think it got up to.
I do have a Luna. Let's check out liquidation levels on Luna. Let's just see. Imagine it's like so many longs right now. Oh, what in the world? Okay, let's change this to
Scary looking. That's scary looking.
Yeah, that's a lot of longs. Long liquidation. See that? It's just gonna plow through that. Like, I'd imagine at some point.
Yeah. What comes up must come down.
But it's really close to, as far as like all-time high. The all-time high was here at 103. And here we're at 97. Was the peak of this guy. So let's see if it's going to. I mean, yeah, 4-hour could be dying down. Luna's just been surprising everyone, so who knows? What I mean, look at this giant
green wave.
Thick. Oh man.
Thick
Anyways, it is in a red, right? The red.
It's funny too. It's in a red. I mean, that could change on the 4-hour, I guess. Yeah. I mean, geez, the money flow is so strong there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like a lot of the tokens right now, everything right now is in a overbought mode right now. So everything's kind of in a downward. Right, exactly. It's everything's doing a retrace. Yeah, it's just kind of not yeah. I mean, I as far as like how, like, a lot of these are these just levels up, right? For a lot of these tokens. Some don't look as hot, like some dudes don't look as hot. What was one that I was?
You're right. Some dudes don't look as hot as other dudes. You're right.
I mean, Link was, I was really kind of just it wasn't really getting those kind of upward momentum level building like Bitcoin and some of the other altcoins. It was really kind of struggling. It just kind of return and then drop back down. But here, I mean, we do have an upward trend. Still kind of the same thing, but there's a lot of them, right? We're all on this kind of trend line. We're seeing if it holds. Because if these trend lines, right, all these tokens, right, they all have these kind of similar trend lines right now, like on the 4-hour chart, where we're on our kind of so this is the first level. We're on our second level. You'd expect, market makers like to work in 3, so I'd expect a third level is what I would expect. So,
I would definitely. Not financial advice.
So right now, like I didn't enter, like, usually. So what I do, right? I follow the trends. So like, I'm not putting in shorts. Like I was saying, I put in a couple shorts yesterday, but I didn't really just kind of stayed off because I'm not most of these shorts I feel like are going to be pretty small. I'm looking for that movement up. So yeah, so I'm waiting to see what happens when these trend lines are hit. Looks like today will be the day for a lot of these trend lines, and if they start blowing past it, then I'm waiting to see confirmation, right? So if it comes up, comes down, or it goes below the trend line, I really like to see it come right back up and regain it again. Okay, if it doesn't, if it comes up or it comes down, comes up and then retests it, but then treats it as resistance, basically it would be this group here would probably be treating as resistance, and then the price would probably come down, and then we're just going back down to a downward trend. But again, market maker likes to work in threes. Not all the time, but that's what I'm kind of expecting. I mean, because if it did something like this, right, that would be like a head and shoulders kind of pattern right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then you can expect the price to
more
be coming down
more
here.
downside.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Kind of like
what
we had
happens.
before. Actually, there was
Right?
a head
The
and
price could
shoulders
go
back.
up, or it could go down.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Guess
true.
what? The
That's a
price
fact.
from right around here. Guess what?
It could go up, could
Price
go
is
down.
going to go up, or price is going to go down.
That's
It's
why
gonna
you
be
shouldn't
one of those
listen to
things.
us.
I'm not.
Right there is the prime example. That is the prime reason you should not listen to us. Might go down.
Right.
Okay, well, I think that was a great
So,
overview of the market
As
today.
far as as far as like trading goes, just be careful out there. Know that we're hitting some key levels. Lots of EMAs being hit, trend lines being hit today. So just be cautious on what's happening with the market. And if you're hodling, it's a good time just to keep hodling. For sure.
Just keep hodling. Yeah. Don't stop hodling. Okay. Well, I think that is going to do it for today's GM show. Please like and subscribe, and come back here tomorrow again at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll do it all again. It'll be even more fun. We definitely promise. The one thing we do promise on the show is consistently more fun every time. But nothing beyond that.
Is that what we promise? I don't think we discussed that every episode is going to.
It says it.
I don't even know what that means.
on the hold screen, the hold screen when we start the show. It says expect fun.
Yeah, we guarantee it.
We guarantee
expect fun
for less.
Yeah,
fun for less. More fun, less money. Wait, what are we doing now?
It's free.
More fun, less money. I think that's great. It's like it could be a Target or Walmart slogan,
it
or it's
makes
ours.
sense.
You're having a lot of fun and you're losing all your money. What's more fun?
That's right.
Bye,
You're right. What's
Good
more
morning.
fun?
Good morning. Good morning.
You go to
Bye.